Well, welcome along.
Good evening.
Welcome along to Super League Raw Weekly. I don't know what happened there. A little bit behind the times. Good evening, one and all. I think I'm having a bit of Wi-Fi issues tonight. It's a little bit slow on my end. But anyway, not to worry. We will get there. Not sure where Steph is. He's coming in late. There he is. He comes in. He's coming in a bit late. As you can see, nothing like a bit raw on Raw. But anyway, there you go. Nice to see everybody in the chat. Get rid of that now. Peter Mason, all the way from Belarus. Callum's with us as well. Ryan Birch with us. Lee Partington, Freddie McGilvery, Paul Boardman. They're all coming in. Absolutely fantastic. Welcome to those who are joining us for the first time. And welcome to Joe Dalgreen, a new Super League Raw member. Good evening to you. Great to have you along for the ride. Good evening, gentlemen. How are we?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
Yes, very well indeed. We can get rid of that now at the bottom. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, it's time to like, share, subscribe, and comment. Get your comments in the chat. That's right, get in the chat so we can give you your shout out. That's your job at the start of every single Super League Raw. Also, a shout out to new members this week. Anthony Cox, Daniel Collier, also hopefully there with us somewhere this evening. Right then, gents, plenty to get through. Where are we going to start?
Matty Sale joined us this week.
Well, probably he'll probably be up and about at some point during the evening. Right, let's no particular order. Let's start here, and I think this is a pretty good place to start. To be fair, but announced today that Hull KR are going to be going to Amsterdam in January 2025 to take on the York City Knights and a little bit of promotion for the game. Normally you see the bigger clubs, Saints, Wigan and the likes doing this type of thing. I think it just goes to show how far KR have come. I think this is a great initiative, gentlemen.
Love it.
Yeah.
It's a great idea. It's a great idea.
Yeah. Steph looks like Steph looks shocked to be here tonight. You all right, mate?
You threw me off because you weren't on before, so it just came on, and then my camera wasn't on properly, and then my audio wasn't on properly. So I'm having a bit of a murder. I think it's because I've switched to San Miguel instead of Brewdog tonight.
Oh, that's what it is.
A little bit of a promotion. Now, what's your thought on the KR promotion then, Steph?
Yeah, I think it's brilliant. It's a bit like the Vegas, but closer to home, isn't it? But I think there'll be quite a few chilled out people in Amsterdam watching that one.
No better way to manage the January blues than going to Amsterdam.
Absolutely.
Dry January's just got out the window, hasn't it? But Wyatt and Wigan as well, they're caught in the NRL. They've said that they'd love to go over and be a part of the Vegas NRL launch.
Yeah.
I don't know about an all Super League clash, but I do think there's probably a bit of life in maybe the World Club Challenge getting over there.
I'm quite open to both, really, because I think they're two kind of different styles of game as well, aren't they? So I think Super League might be a bit more attractive, maybe, because I think whereas Australians quite defensive, isn't it? You do get the superb tries, but I think we're a bit more attacking in our game and a bit more see a bit more tries. So I think it could work well, and two brilliant clubs to take over there as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's probably just dipping a toe in the water, and who knows if it's a success. Then maybe a few more Super League teams could go out there as a kind of a warm up to the World Club Challenge. A couple of Aussie teams, a couple of English teams, and then the World Club Challenge. Let's dip the toe in the water and let's see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, any promotion's good promotion for me. And I'm sorry I'm a bit distracted, but Steve, I'm not sure how you saying your surname. Ekus, I'm going to have a go at Ekus. Steve Ekus, right at the start of the show, has joined the membership. Well done, Steve. And he's with us tonight. And here he comes, just so that you know, we are right across the United Kingdom. A Salford supporter from Northern Ireland has finally took the step to become a part of the family. Your invitation to the WhatsApp group will be coming your way this evening. Don't worry about that. You can get in all the merriment of the WhatsApp group. Is anybody else out there going to join the show? Become a member. Just go to that QR code up there and think about becoming a member of Super League Raw. More on that a little bit later on. Right, let's move on because we've got lots to get through. Him and SASA. Thrown out, not happening. We had a bit of this last year, didn't we? Involving Lee and Warrington, a little bit of he said, she said, all that kind of stuff. And now a lot of talk in terms of, well, what happens to the player that actually put this in? I mean, we've got to tread careful on this, but all I would say is that if somebody has put a claim in and for whatever reason it's not as was described, should there be repercussions to that player? That's all I want to really say. Yes or no?
it's a bit because it depends what it is. I mean, in the heat of battle, things can be misheard, just as So without being privy to the audio or whatever, then I think we can't judge that. It sounds to me like something's been said and it's been misheard. I think that's probably the way it comes across to me. But obviously, like I say, we can't comment on it because we don't know what's going on.
No, I just think in general, not necessarily the Herman SAS one, but in general, that if a player says to an official that somebody has said something and then retracts it because he didn't, or there's enough evidence to suggest that they didn't, should then there be a repercussion on the player who put that in? Not necessarily this particular incident, just in general.
If it can be proven 100%, because the last thing we want is people trying to get people banned, and especially for serious allegations such as racial or whatever kind of thing. So if it can be proven, it's a bit like the other way around, isn't it? If it's proven that someone's deliberately lied, then 100%, and it should be the same ban as the person who
Fair enough, Greg?
Yeah, I think I'm a fan of kind of leaving it out there on the pitch, really, but sometimes things are said that maybe go a little bit too far. I agree with Steph. It's a difficult one to prove. Things are said, things are misheard, especially in close games where the crowd's on edge, the crowd's loud, and things get said, things get in the heat of battle. I think you're treading a very, very fine line here, and we have to be careful, I think. We had a case last year where, unfortunately, it saw the end of Josh Maguire's career because he was accused of saying something. We don't know what was said, only the two people involved. I wish they had the same recording equipment at those two games that Josh Maguire was at last season. Maybe that would have been cleared up. But we don't want racism or homophobia coming between the players. But it's a very difficult one. He said, they said kind of argument. It's a very difficult one to prove either way, I think.
Yeah, no, couldn't agree more.
Just
right.
like what Steph said, to be honest.
Okay, ins and outs. Let's get these, lots to get through tonight. As always, Super League Raw, doing it first. We're announcing the May team of the month, the coach of the month. We're doing the player of the month. Oh, yes, that's right. Don't forget. Now, some of you will be saying, but May's not over yet. This game's on Friday. Yeah, but that's unfair to the teams that play in June. We do it as rounds. So we're going to do the three rounds that played in May. We picked a team of the month. That's coming up in a few moments' time. Always good fun, that one, of course, and all the usual merriment. So we've got to really get a wriggle on here, folks. The ins and the outs, the latest transfers. Rumours tonight, Jordan Abdul back to Hull FC for 2025, Greg.
Yes, I've seen that. That broke this afternoon.
Yeah.
Although I think there were rumours flying around late last week. I don't know. I mean, it's Hull seem to be buying everybody at this moment in time. So, they put a bid in for me last week, but I had to turn them down. I'm playing for Wigan next season. It'd be an interesting one. Definitely an interesting one there. I don't know what KR fans think about that because he seems to have fallen out of favour, and that's why he's gone on loan to Catalan. He certainly looks like he's enjoying the French lifestyle.
For me, it's surprising because I think actually he's been one of Catalan's better players.
Yeah, he has. When he's fit, he's a good player.
He's not missed many, has he? I mean, in terms of
he has done in the past.
But in terms of this year, he's not missed many. And what I would say is, if he's one of Catalan's more consistent players this year, I think it's fair to say in the first two games against Warrington, he was the difference, quite frankly. They must have tried to keep him. So is this yet again Spondulic being offered by FC just a little bit too much for him to turn down over the French lifestyle, Mr. Stale?
Potentially. I rate Abdul. I think he's a really good player, and he's I think from a kicking point of view, he's probably the most dangerous infield kicker in Super League. So I think it's a decent signing for Hull FC, and another experienced player that'll probably bring a bit of stability. And he's never had any contentious stuff, has he? Really, he's not really a disruptor, I would say. So,
yeah. It makes you wonder why he fell out of favour at Hull, KR.
Yeah. I think that was bringing Tyrone May in, wasn't it? And they just couldn't, with him and Mikey Lewis, they couldn't find a place for him. No, I think it's a good signing and a local lad as well. So he's not having to do any travelling and stuff like that. So it makes sense to me.
Fair enough. Right, let's get into the wire because, of course, one announced, one probably pending to be announced. Burgess in his press conference not denying that Matty Nicholson is more than likely going to be going off to the NRL at 20 years of age at the end of the season. In, of course, Luke Yates. That, of course, been one of the worst kept secrets in the world. I think they wanted to just get the Challenge Cup out of the way before that one was announced. But yeah, I mean, Greg, I'll come to you first with it being wire. Nicholson, quality talent. Wants to go and test himself. Warrington not standing in the way. There will be a transfer fee. This isn't a direct replacement. But what I would say about Yates coming in, probably in the same spirit as Sam Powell coming in, this is another experienced player. We know Warrington have got a lot of young players coming through. The Lindops, the Kai Taylor-Rays. Pulis is still young. There's a lot of these younger players. Renshire, another one, Leon Hayes. So to bring a player of the calibre and the stature and, of course, captain of Huddersfield Giants into the team with his experience in leadership, again, I think this is probably a smart move.
Solid move. A solid move. Matty Nicholson, I don't know whether it's been confirmed tonight, but
Canberra Raiders.
Matty Nicholson had a slow start, got a few injuries. This season, when he's played, has been magnificent. His defence and his attack have both been absolutely excellent. Sorry to see him go. I can't help thinking that he may well have given it another couple of years before going over there, just to get a bit more first team experience. But
look at Will Price.
Exactly, yeah. I just think sometimes leave it. I know talking to a friend of Gildart's over the weekend, and his dad actually said to him he wanted to go earlier than he did, and his dad said to him, don't go just yet. Just get a bit more first team experience and then go. But good luck to the lad. He's a great player. Hopefully we may see him back in wire colours later in his career. As for Yates, what can you say about Yates? We've loved him for years on this show. He was a couple of years ago. He was very, very rarely out of the team of the week. Loose forward or second row. I'd be tempted, or prop. I would be tempted, to maybe utilise him at second row and keep Curry at loose forward, because he's been a revelation this season at loose forward. Yeah. And you've also got Adam Holroyd, who'll have to be given his head at some point.
Yeah.
Over probably next season now. So yeah, but he'll fit in he'll slot into a lot of positions, and he'll show that defence up even more. Our defence this year has been, for me, pretty good. The biggest thing that I've been pleased with this season after the last 2 years. Sorry to see Nicholson go.
Yeah,
but Yates is a seasoned player, an experienced player, and brings a lot of depth to the wire pack, I think.
Yeah, well, Dawn Baker here already thinking that Nicholson will go back to Wigan. The problem is though,
I'm not going to Wigan, Nicholson.
No, but Dawn, mate, you need a replacement for Insembra a lot quicker than that, mate. He's not coming. Nicholson won't be coming back for at least 4, maybe 5, maybe 6 years. So if you're thinking a direct replacement for Insembra, mate, they're both going together. Come on, Dawn. Come on.
Well, you know what? Insembra and Nicholson in the second row at Raiders. Woof. That will be a second.
And do you know what? Well, this is the interesting thing, isn't it? A lot of people now will be really interested in the Raiders next year. Nicholson there, Smithy's there. It's going to be good for the English lads. To be able to watch 2 English lads in the same team is going to be good. Joe Dalgreen saying it's a year early for Nicholson. But the bottom line is, Joe, if you're good enough, you're old enough, aren't you? Steph, very briefly, mate, your thoughts on these two?
Yeah, I think when you get a young lad who gets an opportunity to go to Australia, from a life experience for him more than anything, I can see why, it's a big draw for him. So, I think the best way for Warrington is to do it the right way. And then hopefully if he does return, then he comes back to your club. And Yates is quality, isn't he? We've been saying it for so long on this show. Huddersfield are losing quite a few decent players.
Very much so, mate. Very much so. And I think the Cowbell Army very, very concerned about that. I mean, obviously, Craig Rugby, you're quite right, Craig. Your strength in depth is shoes. Walters slips in for Junior in December. And that's great to see, Craig, that you now do believe he will leave. So that's a shift from you in the last few weeks. Maybe you're starting to see it through our eyes. Good man, well done. Right, the last bit of merriment on the quick news roundup, and then, as always, I might have missed something. I'll ask you in a minute if I have. I don't know if you had a chance to read the Martin Sadler column today in League Express, gentlemen, but if you've not, this is basically it in a nutshell. I'm a great. I like Martin, I do, but sometimes he comes up with some balmy stuff. So today in League Express, he's actually said that some of the IMG weighting criteria should be on how many tickets each club sells for the Challenge Cup. Now, I mean, when you consider the vast majority are going to be sold by the two teams that are in it, that disadvantages everybody else. Any merit in that idea? I think for once I've got to say, Martin, not one of your best.
It's a separate comp. Why should that determine whether you're a Super League club or not?
Yeah.
The Challenge Cup does count. Cup winners get some points, don't they?
It's weighted. You get weighting for it, but I don't think attendances in the Challenge Cup should count towards that.
No, I don't either.
Bottom line is, gentlemen, we need to get to the good old days where whether you're there, whether you're not there, you go. And the Super League Raw community will be meeting at 1 o'clock underneath the Rugby League statue on the day of the final.
I'll already be in the ground, mate.
You'll be in the ground. Steph will be there. I'll be there. I think Joel's coming along as well. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. Pete Mason says he'd offer him a contract to 2030. Mate, I'd be giving it a lot longer than that. He's only 19. I'd be going a lot longer than that, my friend. But I get your point. You need to try and wrap him up. There is no doubt about that whatsoever. That's all that's really caught my eye this week thus far, gentlemen. Unless you've got anything that you think needs discussing, I think we need to move on. Anything that you've seen that you think's worthy of note? Just
Penne apparently coming to Lee, isn't it?
Penne coming to Lee, yeah. That's a late one. Yeah. Maybe we'll have a chat about that next week, as and when.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I've seen.
If and when that is announced. Right, let's clear up round number 12. These were the results. Tigers 30, Hull FC 22, Giants 10, Leopards 16, Saints 40, Rhinos 10. Brilliant win that one for Saints. Dragons 8, Warrington 16 in clearly the tide around. Broncos 14 and a team that were white hot. Yes, they were only playing London, but some of them tries. Niall Evans, take a bow, son. Oh, he was incredible. Red Devils 6 and, of course, the Wigan Warriors 26. Before we have a little chat in brief around anything that you saw in round 12 that you just want to tip your hat to, should we do the top performers round 12 just to give them a little nod?
Why not?
Yes,
Here they come.
Here are your top performers from round number 12 of the Betfred Super League. The top try scorers this week, all from Hull KR, were Mikey Lewis, Niall Evans, Sam Luckley and Jack Broadbent with 2, as well as Jack Wellsby of St Helens, also getting 2. The most try assists came from Niall Evans with 4, Mikey Lewis, he got 2 as well. The top meter makers were shared, Liam Sutcliffe and Matt Duffy once again in the top 4 with 188. Nene McDonald got 181 and Joe Westerman 156. The top tackle buster was Chris Satai of Catalan Dragons with 12, Matt Duffy got 11, Tim Lafay 8 and Tex Hoy also got 8. The most clean breaks came from Harvey Barron of Hull FC with 3, whilst the most offloads came from Mark Percival with 6, Julien Busquet, Sam Luckley, S.M. Masters and Curtis Sivernon also having 4. The top hard beater maker in Super League for round 12, you've got to be a prop forward, second row or loose forward in this one, is Joe Westerman of the Castleford Tigers with 156, Alex Mellor got 138, George Delaney 135 and Herman SASA 126. The top tackler was Oliver Partington of Salford Red Devils with 46, Luke Yates got 45, Ben Curry 42 and Joe Westerman 39. And finally, the top goal kicker of the round was Mikey Lewis with 9, Matt Percival got 6, Adam Kieran and Rowan Milnes each got 5. They are your top performers from round number 12.
Oh, there we go, the top performers from round number 12. Great to see so many different coloured shirts in there. I'm going to kick off, if I may, just a couple of highlights from my weekend. I have to say, Hull KR. That some of them tries in the first half. I mean, I'm purring and rolling over the city. Brewdog's going everywhere. It was just outstanding. Niall Evans. Oh, yes. Just simply sensational. Got to give him his due. And the other thing out of those stats that we've just seen, I think if we go back as long as you want, Matt Duffy has been in the top meter makers now in Super League for about 6 to 7 rounds consecutively. You know, not the top one, in the top 4 on that graphic. I mean, he really is, you know, no, he's like the roadrunner at the minute. I mean, you know, he really is putting in some serious meters. So shout out to Mr. Dufty as well for his consistency in terms of hands on the ball and doing what he does. But yeah, okay, half of me. Whoa, mate, the tries, the back door try as well. Oh, levels at it. Oh, yes, that's why we love rugby league. Over to you, boys. Follow that.
Yeah. I know we pull our Wigan friends' legs, but Junior Ensemble, what a try! What a try, Junior Ensemble, great try. A little bit of silliness that he seems to have gotten away with in the game, but
he suits a Penrith Panther shirt, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. I thought even the dog outside's agreeing with you. I thought Ensemble had a great performance on Sunday. I agree with you about Matt Dufty. I thought George Williams was superb as well. I thought, you know, Leeds, what's going on at Leeds? That performance wasn't good enough against Saints.
No, wasn't.
I expected that to be a lot closer. You know, I just don't know what's going on at Leeds.
No. Steph,
are they not playing for him? I don't know.
I don't know, mate. Steph, your highlights of the round, anything that really caught your eye?
I think my highlights are how well the fullbacks are doing. And it comes back to your Dufty comment, but you're raving about Evalds. You know, Matt Moylan has been fantastic at fullback. You know, Field had a good game again. You know, there's some quality. Even Wellsby had a good game. Marshall's hit. Yeah, that's a great,
Great
I think there was 2 in that, wasn't there? There was Ensemble running over the player, and Marshall's hit was like an exocet missile, wasn't it? So
he did 2. I mean, not something you normally associate really in Marshall, but he absolutely hit it. And you know, just because, you know, I want to put, you know, Dawn's health front and centre. By all accounts, her eyes are rolling in the back of her head. Put the Malibu down, Dawn. Put it down. Anyway.
I've not recovered from a jumping on me at Huddersfield on Friday.
Absolutely.
Right, let's move swiftly on.
Nicola Burtonwood's with us. Nicola, good evening to you. We've also seen Mark Atat, the man that does a fantastic poster or 2. Oh, he's with us as well. Sorry, Steph, back to you.
I think I'd said my bit.
It would be amiss of us, though, not to mention one other try. Texoy. Oh, yes. Beautiful.
Another fullback.
Beautiful. Everything about the little shimmy. Out he goes to Corio, out the back door to Gary, inside ball to Tex, and he says, right, let's have a little chip and run. Oh, fantastic. I've not seen a chip and run as good as that since Tiger Woods in his prime. Incredible stuff. Incredible. Anyway, there you go.
Is that before he got in the car or after, Dave?
Well, you've got to lower the tone. That's disgraceful, Mr. Nixon. Disgraceful yellow card indeed. Right, as we always do, we'll move in a minute to Coach of the Month. But before we do the Albert Goldthorpe, just want to pick a couple out for you. They actually gave Joe Mellor in the Salford game 2 points. Anybody see Joe Mellor? Joe, don't get me wrong. I thought Joe Mellor had a decent game.
He had a decent game.
Or was he top 3?
No.
I'm sorry. Sorry, again. They gave Liam Horn 2. I could sort of see that, but other than his try, he was steady away. But I think there were better players. I mean, the interesting thing where they're concerned, they didn't give Hoy anything. They didn't give Corey Hall anything. Corey Hall had a belting game, which was really odd. They gave Garcia a point in the Warrington game as well, which he was good, but do I think he was top 3? I don't know. Don't know about that. Anyway, so we won't laugh too much at him, albeit I do think the Mellor one is a bit of a shocker. Right, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the month again where we do Coach of the Month. There are only 2 contenders for this, and these are the 2 contenders. Matt Peat and Sam Burgess. These are the two contenders. At the start of May, Petey was 3rd. He's finished second. As you can see, getting feedback. Who's that from? Oh, we'll have a guess. There you go. Yeah, it was Reggie. 1st of May, he was 3rd. End of May, he's 2nd. You can see he's beat Catalan, Huddersfield, and the Salford Red Devils. 104 points for 20 again. Sam Bird, of course, both of these 2 sides through to the Challenge Cup final as well. We don't count that, of course, but just have that in the back of your mind. These were the only 2 coaches who won 3 from 3 in May. For Burgess, 2 home games, one against FC and KR, won both of them. Win, of course, at the Dragons at the weekend. 60 points in the 4 column. 22 against, and he finished a point above, a position above where he started the month as well. No doubt about it. Both absolutely contenders for this one. I'll come to you first, Steph. Of those two, who would you give it to and why?
It's really close, this one, isn't it? It is really close. I'd probably edge it to Burgess just for winning in Catalan. But I will say the three teams that Matt beat there, Lee have beat in the last 3 games.
Rightio. Reggie?
Yeah, I think because of the form that Hull KR were in when they came to the Halliwell Jones and the fact that they've gone to Catalan and finally won. I'd hate to say this because people accuse me of having primrose and blue glasses on, but I think Sam Burgess probably just edges it.
Well, if you're primrose and blue, Dawn's cherry and white, apples and oranges. It's not apples and oranges, Dawn. It's close. This is very, very close. There's no doubt about it. And look, you could probably flip a coin. You really could. But the official Super League Raw coach of the month for the month of May is going to be. It's going to be Matt Peat. It's going to be Matt Peat because 104 for, 20 against. That's an incredible scoring ratio. There's not an awful lot in it. You've got to take into account how much Warrington have improved under Burgess. Burgess incredibly close. But for me, I just think that, when you look at the for and against, 104 points, it's not, we go back to the previous graphic. It's not that he's won those games. Look at the margins that he's won them in. And if, you look at the Catalan one as a little bit of a, 30 points to 8. I mean, they bossed Catalan that night. Warrington struggled a little bit. It was a proper Titanic. I know it's in Perpignan, but it was a Titanic tussle. They haven't just beaten those teams. They've proper beaten those teams. But, I think the most pleasing thing, if you Sam Burgess, is that 22 against. As Greg rightly said, the defensive elements of Warrington this season, that has been a massive, massive improvement that Burgess deserves credit for. So, yeah, that's an interesting one. I think, some people, like say, there's no bias there. Some will be saying now in the chat, what you doing, Dave? But that's just how I've seen it. That is just how I've seen it. I do think Burgess minus points for dancing after Catalan win. Behave yourself, Greg Roach. Nothing wrong with a little bit of dad dancing. You should know. Granddad. Anyway, moving on. He's got in there. He'll be laughing now and he'll be having a proper chuckle.
He's just slipped in his hot tub there.
Right, he knows I love him. He knows I love him. Anyway, right, let's get in the team of the month. Now, this team of the month, like I say, let's position this before we go there. So what we do here at Super League Raw, we do, of course, the team of the month. Players must have played in all 3 games. That is an absolute. They miss a game, unfortunately, that's it. It's about consistency over 3 games. This rewards consistency of performance. This is not about where teams are in the league. This is about individual players. We look at each individual player who has shown up for their team in their position and had a phenomenal month. That's what it is. Just want to give that as a little bit of a caveat before we go there. So, ladies and gentlemen, here comes, and you say, we're straight, hey, nobody does it quicker than us. Here comes the Super League Raw team of the month for the month of May. So there you go, the team of the month for the month of May. For those listening on the podcast, I'm going to go through it for you. At fullback, Jack Wellesby of St. Helens. And on the wings, Josh Fulis and Josh Jarnley, Warrington and Lee, of course. In the centres, Jack Broadbent of Hull KR and Mark Percival of St. Helens. In the halfbacks will be Lachlan Lamb and Mikey Lewis. Prop forwards, Tom Amone. And for the second consecutive month in a shocking side, Herman S.A. You can't give him any criticism at all. His numbers have been incredible. Hooker, Dowell Clark. In the second row, the youngsters, Matty Nicholson and Junior Nsemba, both have had a phenomenal May. And at loose forward, Greg's already mentioned him, a man reborn, Ben Curry of the Warrington Wolves gets the loose forward position. On the bench, the runners-up, number 14 will be Tex Hoy of Castleford Tigers, Matt Moylan of the Lee Leopards. This will surprise some as well. Mikolaj Eledzki, who has been in phenomenal form for the Leeds Rhinos. We were questioning him over the last, pretty pretty much this season. But actually, when you get into the detail, Aletsky has had a fine May. And Liam Farrell of the Wigan Warriors, he also finds his way onto the bench. Right, Callum saying SA is well deserved. Marshall and Junior, fingers crossed, said Craig. Well, Junior's there. Marshall is not. Jack Broadbent, well deserved, says Greg Roach. Greg, I'll come to you first. The month of May, that's your team of the month.
Yeah, do you know what? I'm surprised that Darryl Clark's still in there.
Well, don't be. Darryl Clark, 1 try, 2 assists, 6 runs from dummy half, 85 tackles in defence, 5 tackle busts, 2 clean breaks, 16 carries for 158 metres. Edwin Ipape ran him incredibly close. And the real difference between these two players was that Darryl has done more in defence and also for less carries did pretty much the same metres. But let me tell you now, it was a really close one between Darryl Clark and Edwin Ipape, but Daz Clark just about gets it.
And Matt Duffy as well. I thought Matt Duffy might have been at least on the bench.
Very, very close, but again, not as close as you think, actually. When you actually look at it in the month of May, believe it or not, Wellesby, and this, do you know what, gentlemen? This is why I'm proud of what we do. Jack Wellesby has not appeared in a single team of the week, but consistently across the 3 rounds is in team of the month. That tells you everything. That tells you everything you need to know about what we do. We reward individual genius in a week, but when you actually look at them over the 3 weeks, Jack Wellesby, 5 tries, 4 assists, 18 tackle busts, 2 clean breaks, 62 carries for 339 metres. Jack Wellesby's been incredible. Tex Sawyer's been incredible. And another guy who also, Duffy's been incredible. And also Alex Walker. Just so you know this, Alex Walker, 2 tries, 3 assists, only 1 error. When you think who he's playing for, 1 error at fullback, 12 tackle busts and 429 metres. Alex Walker, right in the shot window for 2025. No doubt about that whatsoever. Sorry, Greg. Hopefully that answers your question.
Mate, I am just, I'm not questioning. I'm just putting an opinion forward.
Absolutely.
I'm never going to argue with you, my friend.
No, we're not arguing. Look, it's right that you question it because that allows me then to give it justification, which is what all I'm doing. Because there'll be people like you who are looking at this and going, how on earth is that person there? Anybody's got a question, I'm happy to answer it. Steph, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, the stats don't lie, as we constantly say. And I think it's brilliant how there's only 1 player who was in last month's team of the month. Is that right, with SASA? Is that what the star is? Yeah.
Oh, I'm being asked, sorry. There's Marshall scored 3 tries and they were all in the same game, Craig. Carry on, Steph.
So I mean, it's great to see, that we basically created a brand new squad from the last month. Which just goes to show the talent that's on show in Super League, which is fantastic. And most of those players are coming from the sides that are in form at the moment as well. Even like your Castleford, who are starting to make a bit of a push now as well, which is great to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Peter Mason, Amona instead of Tomo. Getting to the detail, my friend. Amona has been a lot stronger than Mr. Thompson, but don't get me wrong, Thompson has had a decent month. Again, very consistent, Mr. Thompson, but not as consistent as Tom Amona, I'm afraid to say. Like I say, go and check it out, get into the detail. You'll see that I am right.
John Wilkinson asking about Fitzgibbon, who
Fitzgibbon
might make an appearance.
Yeah, but when you actually compare and contrast, the reason Nicholson's in there over Fitzgibbon is his tackling has been colossal, and I mean colossal. I mean, you think of Warrington, tight games, and that really has been the difference. He has done, get this, 117 tackles in 3 games, 25 marker tackles as well. I mean, incredible defence. That's what got at him, because without that defence on the right edge, I think Warrington could have conceded more tries. So, like I say, Fitzgibbon's been good. He's been very, very good. But Nicholson's defensive efforts in May just about got him this nod in this one.
Fair enough.
Yeah, okay. So there you go. There's your team of the month. Hopefully you like that, ladies and gentlemen. Like I say, trust me, if you get into the detail, you'll see it's not a million miles off. After that, it becomes emotional, and yeah, we can all pick players on emotion. And don't get me wrong, I'm happy to do so, but it's got to be backed up as well. And here's the thing that I'm delighted about in that squad, gentlemen. Absolutely delighted about. Look at some of the youth that's in there. Yeah. It's wonderful to see Fulis, Broadbent, Lewis. You're talking Nicholson and Sember. Young talent in a team in a month. It bodes well. Obviously, a couple of them might be getting off soon, but it does bode incredibly well for the future of our game. So, in fact, let me leave that up on the screen. So, ladies and gentlemen, one of those players, you know how it works, one of those players will become the Super League Raw Player of the Month for May. That will be announced later on in the show tonight. Which of those get your vote? Don't tell us now. Leave it until we come to that part of the show. I'll give you plenty of warning and then get them in the chat. Who would you pick as your player of the month out of those? It cannot be on the interchange bench, only the 1 to 13 because they were the best in their positions. Interchange new for this year. And of course, all of these players will receive a further 2 points towards the Super League Raw trophy at the end of the month. We will be announcing an update on that at round number 15. So there you go. That's who you're going to be going with as you go through there. Fantastic, wonderful stuff. I need a little rest. So should we do team of the week?
Why not?
Love it. Let's get going.
Let's do it.
Hang on a minute. I said let's do team of the week. We could do team of the week if we actually had it there to do, but I haven't. So let me just get that sorted out behind the scenes. Not like me, I know, but there you go. Let me just go and find it. Oh, dear me, what's going on tonight? I say the best laid plans and all the rest of it.
Don't worry, mate. Live TV. Never worked.
It is live TV, right?
It's an animal.
Do you know what it is? Team of the month has thrown me off. Team of the month has thrown me off. I bet I've not even downloaded it. Oh, there it is. Is that it? There it is.
Get your questions in the chat for later on.
Yeah, get your questions in the chat for later on. I just found
think of them and put them in the chat later on.
Absolutely.
Questions last week that got us thinking.
There were a lot. In fact, get a question in now. We'll answer one while I'm finding this. Do you know what? I found it and then I've lost it again. Oh, there it is. Right, let's get that.
I know how that feels, Dave.
Yeah. So anyway, that live TV. We'll roll.
There's the second yellow red card.
We will roll with the punches. That's what we do. Tell you what we'll do. I know exactly what we're going to do tomorrow night for your viewing pleasure. On Wednesday night, 8 p.m, YouTube and as a podcast will be Earl Crabtree, the In Conversations Legend series. Here's another little teaser trailer for Earl. Right, got to do it. Brown or white crab meat?
Neither, mate.
Oh,
I don't eat shellfish. Don't eat crabs. It's the family name, mate. I'm not going to eat my own kind, am I?
Fair enough. Well, you're not going to knock them down either. What's your favourite tree?
Oh, big like me.
Fair play to you. What's your favourite dance move on the dance floor at a wedding? What's your dad dancing like?
Dad dancing's pretty good, actually. I just got a bit more of a, I won't say a robot, but something of that sort of nature, but more accidentally than on purpose, I'd say.
Oh, imagine that, dance off you and Peter Crouch. That'd be interesting. You'd have to win it for the rugby league family, wouldn't you? You couldn't let him beat you.
I'd take him down, mate.
Well, if not on the dance floor, in other ways. Right. So there you go, Earl Crabtree, Craig Rigby still basking in the glory of the tree line. Yeah, it's nothing like quick.
I'd tell you what, Dave, I hope we don't get Owen Trout on. That could last forever.
especially with our track record where that one's concerned. Whilst we're just waiting for Team of the Week to upload, question, best sign of the season so far. He's got old guys there. I don't know if he's saying players of a certain age or not. Steph, who would you go with? Sign of the season thus far?
Yeah, my spectacles on. Matt Moylan, if he's on about the older ones.
Matty Moylan.
Wow,
yeah, top of Man of Steel.
Is he?
Yeah.
Is he? Have they announced the points?
Well, no, he's joint top at the minute, but he'll be top after this weekend as well.
Is he?
He'll get in that. He's joint top at the moment. If we're on about the older players.
Right, okay.
Which I think he was alluding to.
Okay.
Wow.
Fair enough.
Sign of the year, that's a tough one because there's been some good ones.
Yeah.
Let me have a think about that.
Okay, well, whilst you're thinking about that, let's go with this one as well. Young player of the year so far, Ryan Gregory. Good evening, Ryan. That's a new name on us. Good evening to you, Ryan. Young player of the season so far. Who are you going with, Steph?
Well, he won't be in here in November. I'm with Junior in December.
Hey, there you go. Junior N. Semper. Yeah, it's a good shout. I think Hanley's done well. Your Hanley, you know, if you in that bracket, I think he's done
really
well.
December's been.
Oh, yeah. Don't get me wrong, December's been class, but I mean, you know, just to show, you know, spread the love a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, Mikey Lewis as well at KR.
Yeah,
been sensational. Greg, have you thought of an old timer yet?
No, I'm not. But I say, you know, I'll say it again. I think I said it last week. I think Leon Hayes would have been up there, but for his injury.
Sorry, not that one.
Nicholson.
No. This one.
No.
I didn't get it. Alex has just put me right. He's calling us old. Oh, that's disgraceful, Greg. That's because of his granddad comment.
Right. Sign of the season for me, Fitzgibbon. And I think young player. I think Ensem has been brilliant. I think Leon Hayes was living up to his potential before his injury, and I quite like the young kid from Hull, Charles.
Yeah, we've not seen it. I don't think we've seen enough of him, but yeah, he's certainly got some, hasn't he? He's got some.
He's shown in some very poor performances. So I think maybe if not young player of the season, player with a lot of potential over the next few years.
Well, keep your questions coming because we will go back to them at the end of the show. Thank you for that, giving us a little bit of a filler. And now it's time for Team of the Round. Here we go. Is proudly sponsored by the Good Estate Agent. Join the rugby league community in trusting Stefan and his team when you are buying, letting, or selling property.
It's the Super League Raw Team of the Week for round number 12 with the Good Estate Agent for 2024. Here we go again. A fullback is 9 levels, who's just like Rodgers. Had another freak of a game against London. He turned them upside down with the reflexes of a wild boy. No doubt about it. He had good times. I was in the right place at the right time to get lucky. At 2 was Jack Broadbent, who continues his impressive form since moving from the Tigers. Evel said, "What would you like in the first 8 minutes, Jack?" And Jack said, "Make mine a double." But Jack, don't drink and try. At 3 is Corey Hall of the Casper Tigers. His flick pass to Gary. Gary was simply sublime on the way to perhaps the try the round for Mr. Tex Hoy. Super League Raw believing the 21-year-old, and this performance highlights why at 4 is perhaps the best centre in the comp on his day. Mark Percival was at his devastating best against the Rhinos with tackles of such evil intent. Freddie Krueger would get imposter syndrome and hide behind the city. Just a shame he didn't get a well-deserved try on the night. Well, at number 5 it has to be Mr. Harvey Barron in a team that is barren of points. Oh, Harvey's outstanding. He played and showed great promise at the Jungle. Another 21-year-old who sparkled like a diamond this week in a dressing room with too many opals at present. At 6 is George Williams of the Warrington Wolves, who once again found the shimmy and the tenacity to get over the line against the Dragons. I once read something about a man named George slaying a dragon. History repeating. At 7 is Mikey Lewis of Hull KR. Whilst many will say he's only playing London, how can you not marvel in a set of numbers as sensational as these? Just look at him. At 8 is the man we asked to stand up and be counted in the shadow of Junior in December, and that is exactly what George Delaney did this week. An early entry in light of the bachelor injury proved beneficial for George and the Saints, as he was gargantuan. At 9 is his teammate Darryl Clark, who once again produced the goods for his new team as he bases as Tom Cruise in an F-14. Darryl broke the will of the Rhinos, and what a thrill for the Saints. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. At 10 and keeping his place week on week is Herman S.A. of Hull FC. Many will overlook Herman due to his side's woes, but we see you, my friend. He is playing beautifully in full beast mode. So be our guest, Mr. Herman S.A. as you take your place in our front row. At 11 is Curtis Sivernon of the Saints, who was devastating on the left edge this week. Who needs laxatives when you have runs of this magnitude? That said, fear was Brown in the Rhinos' defence. Ooh, filthy. At 12 and making his hat-trick of appearances in 2024 is Alex Mellor of the Tigers, a new contract that's fully deserved. Mellor is playing some of the best rugby of his career this season, but for many it will be going under the radar. And finally, at 13, for the second time this season, is Ben Curry of the Warrington Wolves. Me mum and me dad, we all agree that he's playing some of his best rugby league under Sam Burgess. Na na na, na na na, here's your team of the week for round 12. Oh yes, get in there.
So there it is, the team of the week for round number 12.
I've just got why you sang the song at the end.
You what, mate?
I just got why you sang the song at the end.
Me mum, me dad, and me gran.
Yeah, got it. Penny just went.
Hey, subtlety of humour. Dawn Baker loving the laxatives one for Curtis Soonan. Yes, it was one of my personal best, I have to say. But there it is. There's the team. I'm sorry to Mr. Delaney hiding behind the become a member there. But yeah, there you go. That's the team. No, JT Morris, get into the detail. Defence. Ben Curry's defence in this game against Catalan. Very, very good, very assured. Clearly the best loose forward in the comp this week, my friend. 42 tackles, absolutely sensational. Steph, your thoughts on the team?
Yeah, I mean, it's all the sides were really good wins, weren't it? Really, pretty much. You know, it's you know, those players have played consistently well. I think all the Leon Huddersfield players are sat in the sin bin, aren't they? So, Vella's got more cards in his pocket than Paul Daniels. No, I think it's a good solid team of the week. That.
Yeah, really pleased for Harvey Barron. You know, in a team that, you know, let's be fair, isn't playing very well. What a great match he had against Castleford Tigers. You know, a young kid, still only 21. You know, he played really, really well, fully deserving. Yes, there was other players in there that could have easily have been picked. But again, I tried to call it straight. You look at what that young man did in a team that's not playing too good. 21, a try, an assist. You know, a couple of tackle busts, 126 metres. Fair play to him. Great game. So there you go. That's the team of the week for another week. And yeah, I have to say, just once more, I think the laxatives one was one of my best, I have to say. But
that one will run and run, Dave.
It will run. It will run and run. You know what I mean? I might have to sit on a stool next time. Anyway, what's going on here? It's just
yellow card.
Shocking. Yeah, yellow card. Anyway, let's dip into this. The Super League Raw Fantasy League. And as you can see there, the Elf Army, Oliver Brown, 728 on the week. He still leads. Oh, it's getting tight, though, there. He's only got just short of 20 points ahead of the Flying Elbows, Mark Allen there. Neither a Super League Raw member, which means the best he can get is a replica shirt. They're not going to win a season ticket. Oh, no, that's still Ryan Birch, albeit Mark Allen on the week, 811 points, was the best on the week. Right, ladies and gentlemen, hot off the press this evening. If you've been on Facebook, you'll already know the tickets are on sale on June the 17th, the third quiz night. Oh, yes, and here's one. Here's an exclusive. If you're not a member, the first 10 people to get their tickets on Eventbrite, the way you do that, let's change it right now. If you want to do a new QR code, there it is. Press that one. You can get your tickets, or you can go to Eventbrite after the show. It's in the description on YouTube and Facebook. This is what you're watching now. There is a link in the description. You can go. The first 10 people to book tickets will get buy one, get one free. You can bring them 8 for nothing. Oh, yes, that's it. Get in there quickly because when those first 10 go, they're gone. If you're a member, do not worry. You, of course, automatically get a ticket. That'll be coming into your inbox. What's up?
Matthew's just texted me saying, have I bought a ticket?
Have I bought a ticket? Unbelievable.
You can get a free one.
Unbelievable. Anyway, but yes. So, yes, buy one, get one free for the first 10. It's a great night. There will be prizes on the line. The first one, of course, was Dawn Kirkby. She got a signed rugby ball, Hull KR rugby ball. She's a Hull KR fan, signed by Tom Opachik. And in the last one, because, of course, we're coming into the summer, an official Huddersfield Giants beach towel was given to Anton Roach, who won the quiz. Well done to Anton. So don't worry, there'll be a decent prize, and it will be for the team that you support. So make sure that you get over to Eventbrite, come and join the community. Great bit of laugh, great bit of banter, great bit of sport. It's a good night, isn't it, boys?
It's fantastic. Yeah.
It is really enjoyable.
It is a really enjoyable night.
It is multiple choice as well for people who are worried about, having to think. You do get to guess even if you don't know the answer. So
and it's very light-hearted, isn't it? It's very light-hearted. Right, okay, we now come to the part of the show, which means we're going to start looking ahead to round number 13. And as always, this will become the prediction show that goes out later in the week. So let's get a word from our sponsor, and then we'll get into it.
Love that crunch.
Let me add a little bit of spice.
So here we go. This is how the league looks going into round number 13. And of course, the Saints, Wolves, and the Warriors all sit on 18 points at the top of Super League. The Warriors and the Wolves, of course, will be going head to head this weekend. Then it's the Dragons, the Robins, then the Dragons, and the Red Devils remain in the top 6 at the bottom there, continue to be Hull FC and the Broncos. The Tigers now got a little bit of breathing space over their nearest and their dearest. Incredible. Let's take a look at the round. This is round number 13. The Giants go up against FC. Saints take on the Dragons. The Wolves take on the Warriors a week before the Challenge Cup final. Will there be changes aplenty? We probably would expect that to be the case. The Rhinos take on the Tigers. Oh, that's always a passionate affair. The Robins go up against the Leopards. And finally, the Red Devils take on the Broncos. Let's dip into the Prediction League. He's not with us tonight because he's been working late. But Joel Scholes has took top spot in the Prediction League this week, 187. And Mr. Sale, well, he got the best score on the week, 24 out of a possible 30. Mr. Sale got this week. And he got every single team right, which means he's 12 from 12. That's 2 weeks in a row. Mr. Sale has managed to predict the right team, which means he now has a 4-point head start over Greg, and he's only 1 point behind me. Wow. Mr. Sale, take a bow, sir. Absolutely sensational effort from you, I have to say. Right, should we get into these games? I think we should. Starting off with this little beauty. It's going to be Huddersfield Giants taking on Hull FC. Let's do a bit of history. Since 1998, it's the Giants 28, Hull FC 37. In the last 5, it's Huddersfield 4-1. Oh, that's not too bad, is it? That's outstanding. The last time FC won was in round number 10 of the 2023 Super League, 20 points to 14. That's what they won. The last 3 have all gone the way of the Giants, including, of course, round number 7 this year, 22 points to 56. And let's not forget what they did to them in the Challenge Cup as well. The form, well, you can see it there. You know, the poison chalice that was the coach of the month of April, Ian Watson. 1 win, 4 losses, compared to, of course, 5 losses for Mr. Grix. 8 takes on 11. The attack, 250 for the Giants, 144 for Hull FC over 12 rounds. That's painful. The defence, 245 plays, 416. The odds, not surprisingly, going the way of the Giants, 1-4 on. 3-1 if you're a Hull FC fan. Andre Savelio could be back for this one. No Swift, of course, no Levette, but Matty English could return as well after HIA. And for the FC, potentially Joe Cater could return. So there's the head-to-head, gentlemen. A little bit different. I'm preferring these head-to-heads. A bit more meaningful. But anyway, there you go. Going to be interesting, this. The Cowbell Army. Are they going to get their first win at home since August of 2023? Mr. Nixon, over to you.
My Huddersfield entourage are not going to like me for saying this, but I think Hull are so poor at the moment, even the Giants will beat them. Not by many, to be honest. I'm going for the way Hull came back against Castleford last week. We'll give them some hope, but I think Giants 9-17. Hull, they can't buy a win. I know Giants' form has been awful over the last, especially the home form, has been awful this season. But I think the Giants will win this. They could have a couple of players back, like you say. Be interesting to see if Connor is back in the squad. For me, I would put Connor into this one. And give him a chance of redemption. But I'm going Giants 9-17.
Now, I have to say, though, Greg, in a completely different note, you're looking rather dapper in Super League Raw merch, sir.
Yeah.
It's always our year. A bit of Super League Raw merch there from Mr. Nixon tonight. Very dapper indeed. Let's get into the chat before we go to Mr. Sale. Freddie McGilvey says Giants 9-17. Neil Rennox, another Super League Raw member. Good evening, Neil. How are you, my friend? He's going Hull by 4. Alex Sharp, another member. Huddersfield 1-8. Laura Evans. Good evening to Laura. That's a new name for you. She's going Hull by 2. John Wilkinson, Hull 8+. Dawn Kirkby going FC 1-8. She must have a feeling in the water if she's going FC. Ryan Gregory, he's gone Giants 1-8. Joe Dalgreen, Giants 9-17. Mark Smith, Giants 9-17. Better team without Connor, says Ryan Gregory. John Costello, good to see you back, John. Hull by 7. And Stephen Ekus, I'm going to go Ekus. I'm sorry, Steve. If I'm saying it wrong, you need to send me the punch. I'm trying my best, mate. Hull sneak it by 4, he says. Do you agree with him? The Hull sneak it by 4, Mr. Sale?
No. The Hull, to be fair, played pretty decent against Cass. Given how Cass came out of the blocks, I thought, oh, here we go in that game. But fair play to them, they did stick in it away from home, which was good to see. I completely disagree about Connor. I think leave him off. If you watch the league game, if you watch the league game from Friday, the best players on the park were Russell, Clune, and Tualala here. So, you know, and Masters as well had a pretty decent game as well. So I would stick with the same team. I think this is the one where they are going to get the first home win of the season. And I'm going 9-17, same as you, Reggie.
Nice one.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean,
I'm only saying, Connor, as Ian Watson might think it's the kind of game that he can get his head back in some sort of space. I know what he's saying, Steph, and I don't expect Ian Watson to put him back in, but it could be the game that he might think.
If you watch just watch the first 10 minutes. If you haven't watched it at the Huddersfield game, Russell and Clune tore us to pieces.
Yeah.
There you go. Steve's got in the chat. Each is you. Each is you. I don't know if I've said that right. Give us a thumbs up or not. Each is you. I'm just going to say it as he's written it. Each is you. If that's how you say it, Steve, that's how you say it. Top man. And coming back to Steve, hey, it could be worse. First time I said hello to Steph, I called him Stephanie. Hey, could have been a lot worse. Anyway.
It's a true story.
Well, that was on a Sunday.
I know. And do you know what? He still dresses up for me. Bless him. Anyway, let's move on. He's right. Always lucky, mate. Oh, you with no stilettos.
Let's move on.
Let's move swiftly on. Even Dawn's getting shivers now. But anyway, Russell, you're right. Russell, he got an assist. You know, he got assist in the game. 3 tackle busts, 21 carries, 77 metres. You know, decent. Clune, another one of the assists came from him. I think Clune's not the enemy, if I'm being perfectly honest. Lola Hayes did 113 metres from 23 carries out of backfield. For me, I think each's 2 syllables. Last message was wrong. Eachers. Fantastic. Stephen Eachers, what a legend. Member of Super League Raw. Could have been on the final whistle on Sunday, lad. He can't wait to get on there. Good man. I'll be telling you how else you can come into the membership in a few moments' time and what the benefits are, because Steve's about to get the benefits. Good man, Steve. I'll tell you the interesting thing for me, because we've got time. I think hooker's a big problem for Huddersfield this year. I like Ash Golding. But I don't know about you. I think he's put a bit too much bulk on.
Yeah,
I really do. I think he's gone too heavy.
He's been on the Abdul diet.
Yeah, well, I think Ash Goulding a bit slender, a bit more zippy about him, and I think it's affected his tank. I think he's going a lot quicker, and I don't know why he's been allowed to put that much junk on. Personally,
he's carried a few knocks as well, hasn't he? He's had a couple of injuries onto this year.
Yeah. He always relied on his speed. He was always very, very fast.
Yeah.
I mean, a top guy though does a lot for the young teams in and around that part.
He does. Yeah. Oh, he does. Yeah, mate. Yeah. Good shout, Greg. Good shout. Yeah, he does, mate. He does a hell of a lot of work in his local community for rugby league.
Is that how far he gets in at Leeds?
Well, no, he's a better scout than that.
No, I think he gets the ailing.
But yeah, anyway, right, let's get into the other predictions. This is great fun, isn't it? Greg Roach has not actually given us his prediction. If he has, forgive me, I've not seen it. Have you given us Greg? I don't think he has. Oh, that doesn't bode well, does it, when Greg Roach doesn't give us a prediction on his own?
He just said play. I don't know what that means.
No,
do we need somebody to check that hot tub?
Yeah,
maybe. Don't, whatever you do, don't drop your phone in it there, Greg. Anyway, let's go into Gary Schofield. Gary Schofield's gone the Giants 9-17. Joel has gone the Giants 9-17. The fans' form have gone Huddersfield 18+. And I hope I'm wrong, Huddersfield. I'm going FC 1-8. Because what I've seen from you in the last few games, Wigan was shocking. Second half, shocking. Against Lee, it was a poor game. And you were poor again. And what I've seen, and again, you know, let me give it, I like to back up an argument. There's certain players in Hull FC that are starting to play. Truman's getting better. We've already mentioned SASA, who's doing really well. Sutcliffe, having really, really good knock as well. We know Cameron Scott and Sutcliffe in the centres. They've got something about them. They have got something about them. If Truman can step up again to another level, for me, this could be a problem. Could be a problem. I could be wrong. I've got a lot of Huddersfield friends. I'm losing them at a rate of knots, but I have. I hope I'm wrong. But you know what? Just to be a bit flavoursome and a bit different, I'm going home.
The home form says that you might not be a million miles off there.
Oh, Dawn Baker said it. Controversy. There you go. Alex Sharp showing confidence in the Rhinos. They'll lose this week and win at home in a fortnight when we visit them again. Well, there you go. You just never know, do you? Right, let's get into the next one. And this actually should be a good game, but Catalan at the moment, I don't know. Anyway, let's get into a bit of history. Look at that, boys. Since 2006, 25 plays 20, but look at the last five. The last five have all gone the way of the Dragons. They have got Saints' number. I can't believe when I put this together, it's like sometimes you put these things together and you think, wow. And I'm going to say it again, wow. Or in the words of Ric Flair, woo! Yes, that's what we're talking about right there. Incredible form. Catalan Dragons going into this one. The last win for Saints was a 28.8 win in round number 1 of 2022. 2022. Oh, get in there, the Dragons. Anyway, that was then. This is now. The last five, you can see Saints have won 4 of the last 5. 3 from the last 5 for the Catalan Dragons. It's first against 5th. The attack goes the way of the Saints. The defence is better from the Saints. It's a 1-4 on, says the bookies. Let's go into who could return. Parsi could return. That would be a welcome comeback because Batchelor's out for 2 months. And also, unconfirmed, possibly till June, Johnny Lomax is out. That's a massive blow when you consider no Wormsley, no Whitler, the amount of injuries that they're getting in those forward positions. Now they've lost, for me personally, one of the most consistent number 7s Super League I've ever seen. He's not going to be there. As for the Catalan Dragons, well, again, it's quite a decent list. Still no Takiaho for them. Manu Mao still going to be out. No Zenon. Paul Seguer is to be confirmed. He could be back. Michael McAlorum. I think Seguer will be back, actually. McAlorum is not expected to play. De Costa failed in HIA. Will that bring McAlorum back a bit earlier? Bailey Sivernon, Arthur Romano. There's big problems there for the Catalan Dragons on the way to St. Helens. But like I say, the last 5 games, Catalan Dragons, woo! You wouldn't have thought that, would you? Unbelievable. Steph Sale, over to you. What are your thoughts?
Throw me with your Ric Flair there. Blast to the past, that, isn't it? Oh dear me. I think after last week's performance, I think Saints will be full of confidence. Albeit that Leeds weren't the best. I think the Warrington game will have took a lot out of Catalan. It was such a close game, and then they've got to get on a plane. They won't be coming over to St. Helens on a Tuesday, will they? Costa del Newton, the Willows, will they? So, it's not going to be happening.
They're going to get the sunbeds out on Paddington Flash.
Absolutely.
You could put them out. You could put them up in the outbuildings, make a few quid.
Well, yeah, they're more than welcome. More than welcome.
What a bit cold shed.
It'll cost them. I think this is going to be a really good game, actually. But if Lee can do what they did to Catalan, then St. Helens can on the current form. So that's the only thing that's got. And the bookies aren't very far off. And a 1-4 on is quite, for such, teams who are so close together, is quite big odds. So that's where my thinking's going. And I think I've gone 9-17 Saints.
It's 9-17 Saints, as has Alex Sharp. Peter Mason's going the Dragons 4, no surprise. Of course, he is a Warriors fan. Neil Rennick's going Saints by 14. Mark Smith, Saints 1-8. Dawn Baker, Dragons 1-8, another Wigan fan. Saints 1-8, Craig Rigby. Josh Grimes, Saints 1-8. Dragons 1-8, Robert Igson. Dragons by 10, John Costello. 9-17, Dragons, John Wilkinson. It's split, isn't it? It's absolutely split. Don Kirby, Saints 1-8. Nicola Burnwood, 9-6. She likes a little pun, does our Nicola. 9-17, she's going the Saints. Ryan Birch, Saints 9-17. Saints in golden point, says Joe Dalgreen. Greg, no Lomax. Massive blow.
Yeah, but move Wells being to the halves probably.
He will, yeah. Well, then Benison will go fullback. He had a mare last time.
See, Wellesby. Well, I like Wellesby in the halves. I think he's a good fullback, but I also think he's good in the halves. Dodd Wellesby in the halves. Bennison's a fullback. Catalan will have been gassed by that game against Warrington at the weekend. Saints will be on, as Steph says, Saints' confidence will have been bolstered. And I think Saints are going to win by 18 or more. I think, 5. Catalan have won the last 5 on the bounce. I think they're missing too many middles. Saints are missing a few middles, but I think the middles missing for Catalan are more important than the ones missing for Saints.
You're saying the hooker, and by that you mean the hookers?
No, the in the middle of the part, the forwards.
Oh, the forwards, right?
The forwards, yeah, the middles, the forward, defence in the middle.
Not that many down, mate. They've got Desiree.
I think the ones that are out for Catalan are weaken Catalan more than the ones out for Saints weaken Saints.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Well, Delaney came into his own.
He had a great game, and he did step up.
His own.
He did. He stepped up. He did step up. But when you consider they've probably got Lees, Delaney, Matauti who's going to have to deputise, and Parsi first game back. That's what we're looking at here.
He'll be on the bench.
Yeah. So therefore they're going to be coming up against Bousquet, McMeekin possibly on return.
I think it might be a game too. I think it might be a game too early for McMeekin.
All right. So Desiree, Navarrete, Satai, Bousquet.
Yeah. But no, I think Saints will have too much in the middle.
No, fair enough. Yeah, I just wanted to clarify your middle comment. That's all. That's all. Okay, mate. Okay, I'm not. Yeah, happy days. Right, let's get into where
it's at the Saints as well.
Yeah, it's at Saints. So Gary Schofields gone Saints 9-17. I'm going Saints 9-17. Greg's gone 18 plus. Joel's gone 9-17 Saints. Steph's gone 9-17 Saints, and the fans forum have gone 9-17 Saints. But 5-0 to the Catalan Dragons. Don't take it for granted, you St. Helens fans. You just never know. You just never know. Now, probably going to be the hardest one for any of us to predict at the Halliwell Jones this coming Saturday. History since look at that. History since 1996. Wigan 44, the Wire 26. And even in the last 5, Wigan 4, Warrington 1. They both come into this game in great form. Brilliant form. And, of course, they're going up against each other in the Challenge Cup. The attack 302, 338. That's not bad from the Wire. It's not bad and the defence as well. A massive improvement year on year in the structure and in the play. Wigan still have the edge there. Wigan favourite 4-6 away from home. I think the stats and history you can sort of see why that is. 13-10. The Warrington Wolves. Wire have lost the last 4 to Wigan, with the last win coming at Magic Weekend 2021 in a tight 10-6 contest. 2 of the scorers that day, Josh Fulis and George Williams. They were the 2 who scored the tries. And, of course, George Williams will not be playing on Saturday regardless. He, of course, has picked up a game ban, which, let's be fair, I was concerned about bans. And there is the case in point. I personally don't really see why Williams was banned. I didn't see an awful lot in the game. It surprised me when Williams' name came up. Greg, you were more concerned about Fitzgibbon, but Philbin is also a doubt. Crowther should return, though. Crowther should return. But Greg, I'm going to start with you because, like I say, you were concerned over Fitzgibbon. Did you see the George? I did not see.
No, I've watched that game back 3 or 4 times. He was victim of George Williams was victim of a late hit, and he's been banned for. I mean, thank you, disciplinary panel, for banning George Williams for 1 game. Thank you. Thank you. I think they're a wonderful bunch of people. I really do. What worries me more is who are they going to ban for Wembley? And this is what frightens me. If I was Sam Burgess, I would have Vaughan nowhere near that game. I'd have Fitzgibbon nowhere near that game. I would have Dufty nowhere near this game on Saturday. The big hitters I would have nowhere near this game on Saturday because, we've seen it. The disciplinary panel, I don't know what goes through the head sometimes. I don't know why Williams was banned. I'm glad he is because it means he won't get banned for the final.
What I would say here, mate, what I would say here is, and I'm going to be balanced when I say this, because we're rugby league fans as well. Do I want Warrington to go and win the Challenge Cup? Of course I do. Of course I do. But we also want the best possible product on the team for the Challenge Cup final. So if this Challenge Cup final was devoid of any of those Warrington players that you just mentioned, if Junior Nsemba doesn't get the opportunity to play in his only Challenge Cup final, because of course he's going to be in the NRL, it would be Junior. There's Junior Nsemba that's in there that you've got to give consideration to. You've got to give a lot of these Wigan players, the likes of French and Field and all the rest of them.
Yeah, not that I think they would get a ban.
Well, no, but if they were,
it's just players like that are squeaky clean. They don't do a lot of things wrong, but it's more the forwards. And I agree. We need to have in that game the Warrington and Wigan teams at full strength. We've already seen the Castleford Saints game where a Metaltia brother got banned, and that was the story of the game. The Metaltia brothers coming together. We saw at Magic Weekend when Warrington had the Thor top. Sims got banned for Magic Weekend. They've got a track record in. It's almost as if they want to take the limelight away from the actual game itself.
Yeah.
That's probably not the case, but that's how it comes across.
Yeah.
We need both teams, barring injuries, to be at full strength. And I urge this disciplinary panel, please, to say, disciplinary panel, just to go to Menorca for a week. Take a week off.
We'll just take the same stance they did for the World Club Challenge.
Yeah. Just take a week off, go to Menorca, enjoy yourself, come back the week after next.
And a couple of our Wigan fans in the chat might take umbrage with that, but Harry Smith should never have been anywhere near the World Club Challenge. So for me, so let's we want the best. I want the best two teams, because I actually think if they're both full strength and Warrington have to turn up for it to be any sort of game or to stand any chance. But if Warrington turn up and Wigan turn up, this is going to be a blockbuster. It's going to be an absolute. It should be a belter. We want the best players on the field.
Exactly. There was worse offences this week that were punished with a £250 or went unpunished. So I'm happy that Williams is missing because he can't get banned although he might get banned, for having too many rounds of toast on Tuesday morning, and you don't know, do you? But I think we're going to win this 9-17 because I think Warrington going to rest a few players. I think Wigan might rest a few players as well. You talked about, was it Eckersley in the academy game? Was it Eckersley you talked about the academy game? Ferryman, sorry, not Eckersley. Ferryman. I think Matty Pete might bring him in for a game,
maybe,
like he did against London. I don't know. I'm not in the mind of either coach. So if they play their full teams with Williams not there, I think Wigan will win 9-17.
Fair enough. Neil, do you know what? I'm going to take your advice, and just like Luke Cooley, I need to rest my neck, mate. So I'm going to let that lie. Anyway, Steve Carledge is saying ban shouldn't count in the competition they're given. Maybe, I don't know.
That's too sensible for the RFL.
Andy Bibby, sorry he's bit late on. Not a problem, Andy lad. Not a problem. Good to have your company tonight. Let's have a quick look in the chat. Don Kirby going Y 1-8. Freddie McGilvey, Wigan 1-8. Two close ones there. Wigan 300 plus. Craig Rigby, and then he woke up. Wigan 1-8. Lorraine, welcome back, Lorraine. Welcome back, Lorraine. Mark Smith 1-8. Wigan. Robert Hickson the same. Ryan Gregory. Most going the way of Wigan. Steph, is this where their strength in depth tells? I think both teams will probably rest a few key personnel. Will the strength in depth of Wigan be the one that gets them the 2 points in Super League?
I think if they go down that route, then I think Wigan have got the stronger squad. So, but I'm going to be a bit controversial, like we're allowed to be. It weren't so long ago last year that a lot of people were calling Hull KR for bringing the game into disrepute for resting players and getting hammered at Wigan, which eventually won Wigan the title on points difference. So I'm so anti against this, and I think the answer is that the ban should only count in the competition they're in. I think that's the best way to deal with this and stop it from happening. This should be the game of the week. It's two of the best sides in the comp, who are two of the most informed sides in the comp. And as a neutral, forget about Wembley. We're being robbed as a neutral of this absolute brilliant fixture, which is in this competition. And I do firmly believe that the problem lies with the disciplinary affecting the Challenge Cup, and that's the answer. It's a simple fix, get rid of that, and it takes it away. But as a neutral, I feel robbed that if the two sides decide to do that and put academies out, it's just not right. And I would like to say, what are people scared of? How many bans are you going to get?
Well,
you're not going to get 5-year star players banned. And also, if one player does get banned, then it's an opportunity for one of your other squad players to get an experience at Wembley. And that's thinking. But for me, I don't know if it's because it happened to us last year where Hull KR rested all the players. We didn't. We went to Leeds and won, and then we won at Wembley. So I'm probably a bit biased towards the play your full strength side and continue your momentum. And my fear is, especially for Warrington, is that if you do that, then you could fall into the trap that Hull KR did. I would go, the way your season's been going, I would completely just go with your best side. You're already losing Williams, he's guaranteed to be in the final. He's probably going to be the biggest differentiator for your squad. You've got in other positions, you've got cover. You've got players who can replace other players, and you're not going to get 3 bans. And if you're that worried about it, then just Burgess has to have a word with them. But
you're getting a lot of love from Mr. Mason. He agrees with you. Lee Patterson says whoever wins this week lose at Wembley. That happens a lot. I get that. But here's one, though, for you, Steph. The way this has fallen to take away all of this, I think there was an argument here for the Rugby Football League and for the Super League to go, we'll play the Wigan Warrington Super League game later in the season. You can both have a week off for the integrity of the game, because there's no doubt about it, there's going to be changes. No doubt about it. So for me, they could have turned around, and this is controversial, but it would give the younger lads a go. Perfect time for it. International weekend mid-season. Perfect time for it. Wigan and Warrington plays out. It's going to be a walkover anyway against France. They don't need to go. And said, right, we'll play it that weekend, have the week off, have a 2-week prep for Wembley, and none of these conversations being had because of the way the fixtures have fell.
I don't.
Yeah, but then Williams is banned for Wembley.
No, because of reserves.
Yeah.
That nonsense in our game.
I don't think there's a right or wrong answer to this. It's just about how you personally feel, and it's very easy for me to say that when we've not got Wembley on the line and a chance to win a Challenge Cup again, which both sides haven't won for a few years now in Warrington and Wigan. So there's a lot on the line for both teams, and I get that, but I'm also about the integrity of the Super League competition, and I don't like the fact that potentially, Warrington or Wigan could lose the League Leaders' Shield and potentially a home tie because of a one-off fixture.
Right, give us a prediction.
I'm going Warrington 1-8, and I think Burgess might surprise you. I think
Fair enough.
he's a strong team.
Steph, I wasn't saying that Warrington will play a reserve side.
No.
What frightens me is the bans that could come out of this. Vaughan's had a stupid ban that finished his season last year. And if we were reliant on the disciplinary panel being sensible and being consistent, then we wouldn't have these worries. Or here's the thing: if we got rid of the disciplinary panel altogether and had a point system for yellow and red cards, then that would not be an issue.
Would you play your full first team if they got banned, but it didn't count for the Challenge Cup final?
Yeah.
Right, okay. I think we've absolutely flogged that one to death. Gary Schofield has gone wire 1-8, as has Joel, as has the fans forum, and believe it or not, the two wires have gone Wigan 9-17. I think Wigan's strength in depth is going to pay here. I really, really do. I think they're going to rest some key players because they can afford to, because they've got that strength in depth. And I think that, the Williams one, would he have played, would he not? Well, he's definitely not now. I think a Warrington Wolves without George Williams, even if he were to play their full strength squad, that would have severely hindered the wire in this one. So it's going to be interesting to see. We'll be there to see it unfold. Let's wait and see. what is going to happen there. Right, let's go over to another one, a derby no less. Really good game, or should be a good game. Castleford Tigers travel to the Leeds Rhinos. History since 1996, 38 plays, 28, 3-2 the last 5. That might surprise a few out there. Cas last won at Headingley, though, in August 2021, round 18 of Super League, 32 points to 18. Jack Sinfield has been recalled. Alex Sharp gave us that inside track on the final whistle. Paul Momorowski, it said round 14. Will he come back a week early? Interesting. Tom Holwood as well. I don't know how long he's going to be out for. They seem to be spending a lot of time out on concussion protocols. The Leeds are taking it very, very sensibly with the likes of, Bentley and co. Nixon put back for the Castleford Tigers, but Miller will be out. So maybe McShane once again will be in the halves. I keep saying it. Ferryman, what a great acquisition that would be on a loan deal based on what I saw last week against Warrington. As you can see, form both a little bit all over the place, but you would say that Castleford at the moment, win, draw, loss, win. They've come into a bit of form as Castleford Tigers. 7th place, 10th. Look at the attacks. 214 apiece. I mean, that's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. Castleford Tigers in 10th have scored the same amount of points as Leeds Rhinos. Unbelievable. But, of course, Leeds' defence a lot more resolute. The odds, 4-9 on Leeds, 19-10 the Castleford Tigers. Steph, we'll start with you. Where do you see this one going?
Yeah, I think that's the key stat, Dave, on this one in terms of the defence. And yes, Castleford were really good against Hull at home, but they still did concede 22 points and it made it a game when it probably shouldn't have been a game. Leeds have been okay at home. They've not been horrendous. So I it's a different proposition is probably what I'm saying, going to Headingley and playing Leeds than Hull FC at the moment at home. I think he's going to have a lot of pressure on him, Rowan Smith, especially if things don't go the way early on. The crowd's going to probably get on his back a little bit. But I still think Leeds might have a bit too much for Castleford here. But this one is literally finger in the air. I wouldn't be surprised if it went either way. But I think Leeds are going to have too much for Castle. I think it's going to be 9-17.
Righto, Alex Sharp believes it's on the BBC at 5:30 due to a date change. Stephen Eachus, Leeds 9-17. Joe Dalgreen, another new member, Leeds 9-17. Nicola Burtonwood, member, Castleford 9-17. Josh Grimes, good evening, Josh. He's linked in for the Castleford game. He's going Cas 9-17. Is he a Cas fan? That's a question. Peter Mason, Cas by 4. A lot of love for Cas. Freddie McGilvey going Rhinos 9-17. Dawn Rhinos 9-17. Must win for Smith, says Mark Gregory. Mark Smith going Cas by 2. Craig Rigby 9-17. The Leeds Rhinos 1-8. Cas John Costello. Don Baker going Cas 1-8. Oh, we could go on. But in closing, Neil Rennick says Leeds are dire. Over to you, Greg. What do you think?
Can't believe all these people going Leeds 9-17. I really can't. I've gone for Leeds 18 plus.
Wow. When you sent me that is a big call, the way Leeds have been playing. And Castleford, like I say, their form has really improved, and their 3-quarter line is, and with Hoy coming out the back, Milne's in good form, Westerman, Mellor, El Zakim.
I know. I just get the feeling this is the game that Leeds not so much click, but get it together a bit more. I think this game will say a lot of whether they are playing for Rowan Smith or not, or whether Rowan Smith is getting them to play the way he wants them to do. So.
Alex is right. Alex is putting messages on about himself. I mean, that's just. I don't know what you call that, but it would appear that Alex is bowing out at the final whistle if Casper Tigers.
I just get a feeling this is the one. Well, Alex Sharp is saying with me saying that wrong. Will be sacked on Monday. Might not wait till Monday.
Well, Joe Dalgreen saying he'll come on for him. You don't have to come on for him. You will be invited, Joe, as a new member, so don't worry about that, my friend.
Leeds 18 plus. I just get the feeling this is a game where Leeds finally get it together.
Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. Well, in the words of Peter Kay, the fans forum are saying, "How dare you?" Because Castleford 9-17 is what they're saying this evening. Unbelievable. I'm going Leeds 9-17, home advantage. Like I say, Castleford, terrible record at Headingley a long time ago they won there. Joel Scholes also going Leeds 9-17. So a lot of love for Leeds, but the fans forum, They're going Cass 9-17. Right, we go to, a repeat of last year's Challenge Cup final. Always serve up some good rugby league, these two. This is really interesting. History since 2021, it's 5-2 in the favour of Hull KR. The last five gone 3-2 to Hull KR. Look at the form guide, though. They're coming into formally. Win, draw, 2 wins. A couple of losses in there for Hull KR in the last 5. 4th against 9th. The attack, 326, plays 244. Let's not forget, though, Lee have got played a game less. Defence, even with a game less, of course, conceding a few more. So Hull KR have got a better defence than Lee at this moment in time, or are tracking towards that. 2-5 on the Robins, 2-1 only. And that tells you where the bookies see this. This is a really close game. And it's one that I think Mr. Salesmen, if they want to keep their push for the playoffs, it's a game they've got to go and win. Every game at the minute is a must-win game for the league.
You keep saying that.
I do, mate, and I'm going to keep saying that. I just think you've got to keep your momentum going. Joe Burgess should be back for Hull KR. Still no Gildart. As for your guys, unless you know something that I don't know, Steph, there's a slim chance, Gareth O'Brien.
Yeah.
For this one, but apart from that, it's as you were. Of course, Brad Dwyer. Amazed that Brad Dwyer didn't pick up a ban. Amazed. I mean, that was the most blatant trip in the world, and he got away with it. Unbelievable. But there you go. That's how these two line up. That's the tail of the tape, Greg. I'll come to Steph last because it's Lee. Over to you. Thoughts on this? Should be a belt if they both play. If they both, perform. This for me should be a belting game. Yeah,
this was the toughest one for me to kind of come to a conclusion about.
Right. Okay.
Leah coming into some form, as Steph will probably tell us. Hull KR, that win against London, I think banished the nightmares of that semi-final against Wigan, where they didn't perform. I don't know. I get a feeling again that Hull KR, sorry, Steph, are going to do this one 9-17.
Well, you're not alone because Lee Partington sees it the same way. Steve Eachers, he's going KR 1-8. Gary Schofield has gone with you, Greg, 9-17. The fans' form have gone 18 plus KR. I don't see that. I really don't. But hey, that's what they've gone. I've gone 1-8 KR. Joel's gone 1-8 KR. I think it's going to be a really close game. I think the fact that it's at Craven Park, the fact that they had, dear me, if you can't get, if the attacking combinations of KR aren't silky clean going into this league game after that practice against London, then something's wrong, And I think what we saw in that game again, I know you haven't played him yet, Steph, so we can't really get a gauge on it. But we've seen Wigan go to London, we've seen Warrington go to London. That was probably one of the most comprehensive wins this season in London by any team. They absolutely did them. Your biggest problem, Steph, for me personally, is Mr. Evels. Evels is in great form. You've got to try and nullify him. And the supporting cast of Lewis and Co. Over to you, mate.
Yeah, there's not a team in Super League who relishes going to Craven Park, is there? Right. At the moment. They're that good at home. It's daunting for anybody. But, it's for me, if Warrington and Wigan do put the kids out, this is the game of the week for me. And I've very rarely picked Lee fixtures as a game of the week. But because of recent history, they tend to be close games. There's not really been any big blowouts in this one, for a while. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's a good benchmark for where Lee are at. But in those games that Lee have won, it's not been against, London's or Hull FC's, kind of thing. And that's not being disrespectful to them. But, it's Catalan, it's Salford, really, really decent sides, mid-table towards the top of the table teams, Huddersfield. So it'll be very interesting to see how we perform in this. I think Mulhern may be a doubt based on him going off after 7 minutes or whatever it was, which that's going to be a massive loss if he isn't playing, because I think one of the bits where we have got over Hull is our pack. When we've got our full strength pack, then we tend to do a bit better. So I've gone KR 1-8.
Yeah, everybody going the way of KR. I just think Lee have to win this. And do you know what? It wouldn't surprise me if they did go and win it. What I do think, though, is Lee are going to have to be on their best form in 2024 to go there and to get a win. Now the tracks are drying up. I think, KR at home. I think early in the season when Warrington went, the fact that the track wasn't dry probably helped Warrington maybe at that moment in time. But I think now they're dry, I think Lee needs to be at the best. Baz,
I don't think we have to win it.
Right.
But we were saying that Lee had to win the Castleford, Huddersfield, London, Salford, Catalan. We won them all, and I think that this is one of the games for me where we can lose. I think when we play in the teams like Leeds, Huddersfield, Salford, they're the games that are must win for us now.
And this is a man, hang on, this is a man who a moment ago was talking about momentum. Absolutely disgraceful. Right, let's move on. Let's just get on with it, dearie me. Right, we've got one more game to look at, and of course it is the Salford Red Devils against the London Broncos as Steph goes back to the ale. Right, it's 24-17 in history, 1997. You forget how many times London Broncos have been in Super League, hence the reason why Eccles and co are a bit upset that they're not going to be here next year. But yeah, 24-17 in the favour of Salford. The last 5 all going the way of the Red Devils. Of course, form is with the Red Devils, 6 against 12. Look at the attack. I mean, again, surprisingly, only 216 points for Salford. That's surprising, 130. And again, the defensive element of it, the conceding of 476 points from London Broncos. That's a big problem. 1-80 on the Salford Red Devils, 14-1. Do you know what? Not bad off. If you want a bookie killer, 14-1 London. We know they've got it in them. And if is Sneed going to be fit? Nothing's been announced with regards to that. What we do know is Sidlow's out, Ormonroyd's out, Cade Custy's likely to be out, Ben Halliwell's out. I thought Ryan Briley was carrying a knock against Wigan. That's going to be one to keep an eye on this week. As for the London Broncos, Dean Parata could be back this week, which is a big bonus for them at 13 if they could get him back. So like I say, 14-1. Not saying put mega bucks on it, but I'll tell you what, a cheeky tenner of anybody's money. Please gamble responsibly. I would say it's a good outside bet. Right, Greg, start with you. I mean, can London get a second win, or do we think Salford will be too good?
18 plus to Salford.
Fantastic. Thanks for the time. We need it. Steph?
I think that's amazing odds for London. Do you know? Like,
I was surprised
in a 2-horse competition, 2-horse race.
Yeah.
All it takes is one player to get a red card. What was the score in London? Was it 10-2 or something stupid?
It was a very, very, but mate, again, great history. 4-12 it was in the favour of. Oh yeah, knowledge. Well done.
Yeah. It's. London are one of those teams that they Salford could put 50 past them, absolutely. But it just, a bounce of a ball, a bad decision, a stupid decision by, a player to get sent off. It's well worth a tenner. Well worth a tenner of anybody's money. That said, I've gone Salford 18 plus.
And you okay. So Salford, Lee Partington, one of quite a few, going 9-17. That's about as good as it gets. Steve Eaches, he's gone 9-17. Ryan Josh, 9-17. He's gone the way of the Salford Red Devils, but pretty much everybody has got 18 plus things. We're seeing this every time. Salford 18 plus right across the board. That is the way they see it. Right, dear me. There you go. Are we right? Are we wrong? I don't know. One thing's for certain, though, there's some really tasty games in there. It's going to be well worth watching this weekend. As I always say, nothing better than being in the ground. Get yourself to a Super League game this week. Go on to and make sure that you take them and watch them on Sky, because the more viewing figures that Sky, I'll tell you what, even if you're not watching it, right? When you go out to take the kids to school or you go to work, just press the play button on it. Let it play when you're not at home, because the more people who watch it, the more money comes into the game. That's what we need. There, you heard it here. You don't get this at other podcasts. We're telling you what to do. If we want our teams to get money, if we want a 14-team comp, we need to watch it on the telly. Even if you're not watching it, play it while you're out. Just play it. And that way, Sky get happy. They think they've got a load of viewers. We get more money. We get 14 teams. Come on, Super League. That's what we're talking.
No loot fixtures. No loot fixtures.
No more loot fixtures.
No more loot fixtures. Right.
Shout out to our Wigan friends. If you fancy joining us in the Bluebell on Saturday afternoon.
Indeed. Yes, we will be in the Bluebell. I will be there from 12 noon, 3 hours before kickoff. And don't forget, if you're a Super League Raw member, if you're a Super League Raw member, Greg will come later, he always does. In terms of if you're a Super League Raw member, don't forget, I'll buy you a beer. There you go. Just you, not your extended.
Sign up. So they sign up. That's
pays for itself this month, doesn't it? There you go. Happy days. And you will be
100 Wigan fans sign up today.
Yeah, 100 Wigan fans sign up, and then they all cancel and they'll be named and shamed. Right, okay. Here we go. Let's get into it. Right. Bottom line is become a member. We've already said Steve Eachus, he's signed up tonight. You need to become a member. I'm going to recharge my glass. It's now time whilst the membership plays. This is what you get for being a Super League Raw member. But whilst this is playing, get in the chat. Who would be your player of the month out of those 1 to 13? It's time now to cast your votes. Who would you give it to? And then I'll ask the lads, and then I'll tell you who's got it. And this is how you become a member at Super League Raw, get loads of benefits, and become a part of the greatest community in rugby league, because that is what we're going to be.
We are inviting you to become part of the fastest growing online community in rugby league. Your contribution will enable us to continue to improve our current programmes and allow us to develop more so that you can enjoy rugby league 7 days a week. Our 3 membership tiers provide everyone with an opportunity to create new friendships and experiences with like-minded rugby league enthusiasts. 18th man membership. You will be supporting the work we do and contribute to our ongoing development. You will be entered into every prize draw as well as our monthly online quizzes. You will also have the opportunity of winning a season ticket by entering a team into the Super League Raw Mini Fantasy League. And you will also get a car window sticker to show that you're a part of this community. 6 again members. You will have increased entries into our prize draws and fantasy leagues. You will have increased shout-outs during Super League Raw every single week. You will have access to the Super League Raw WhatsApp group where you can talk with other members every single day. You will have 1 week advanced screening of our latest In Conversation With, and you will also have 3 invitations to the Final Whistle podcast recordings where you can have your say on the week's action. You will also be invited to a pre-game drink with Greg and I before your team's Warrington Wolves game at the Halliwell Jones. Team Talk membership. You get the maximum 3 entries into our prize draws and into our fantasy league. You will also have the opportunity to submit your question to the latest In Conversation guest, and you will be invited to every Final Whistle podcast where you will become a star of the show alongside the Super League Raw team. Membership starts from as little as £2.99 per month, so why not substitute a latte for 7 days of rugby league analysis and entertainment? Don't hesitate. Visit Patreon now and become a part of the fastest growing universal rugby league community online.
So there you go. That's how you do it. Please do consider becoming a member. The more you give, the more you become a part of it, the more we can give back in prizes and all the rest of it. Great to have you company. Right. We said a few moments ago who was going to be your player of the month. They've all gone in. A lot of love for Junior and Sember. Nicola Burtonwood's gone on Tom Amone. Surprise there. And Sember for Ryan Birch. He's got in there. Mikey Lewis, John Wilkinson. A lot of love in the chat for Junior and Sember. I'm going to start with Steph. Steph, who would you go with and why?
I'm with the chat. I'd go in Sember.
You go in Sember. Greg?
I think Josh Thulis is somebody who's been overlooked. He's scoring tries and kicking goals. But I'm going to go Herman S.A. playing well in a bad team.
Herman S.A. playing well in a bad team. Now, as you would expect, ladies and gentlemen, I will, of course, back up who Super League Raw is giving this one to. Don't you worry about that. A lot of you are probably going on emotion. We don't do emotion. If I was going on emotion, I'd probably be here, but I'm not. I go on fact. Here we go.
Last one now, Garcia, and it's intercepted. A chance now. All the way, Newless, and they got the legs. Johnson chasing back. Here comes comes along the line to Williams. Williams with a step, and Roderick try burst through, and this is a hat-trick. A hat-trick for Josh Stewart.
That will probably surprise many. If I was going on emotion before I did any analysis, I'd have gone Junior Nsemba, and I would have done, no doubt about it. Nsemba has been absolutely incredible. But when you get into the detail, it emerges that Josh Fulis is the player of the month of May, and this is why. Hull FC, he scored 20 of the Warrington Wolves points that night. That's 20. I think we scored 24, 26 that night. 24. So 20 of the 24 points that Warrington scored against Hull FC was Josh Fulis. Then we go to Hull KR. Kicking game. 4 from 4 on a night where Mikey Lewis didn't kick anything. Had Mikey Lewis had kicked, it'd have been a closer game. It'd have been game on. However, because Mikey Lewis couldn't kick and Josh Fulis did kick, it put Warrington that far ahead that it was a pretty reasonably comfortable night for the Warrington Wolves. Why? Because of Josh Fulis. And anybody who watched the Catalan game, if Josh Fulis does not play on Saturday, Warrington concede tries. 3 times when Warrington were pinned down in their own half. 1 was an interception, and twice he made 15 metres in 2 carries to take Warrington up the field of play so that Williams and Drinkwater could kick from about 45 metres to pen Catalan Dragons back into their own half. As good as Nsemba has been, he has not been a game changer like that. Josh Fulis has changed every single game for the Warrington Wolves. That is why. It's nothing to do with Primrose and Blue. It's nothing to do with bias. Matt Peake got coach of the month. You've seen the team of the week. You've seen the team of the month. There's no bias here. Facts are facts. Fulis, 20 points from 24 against FC. Kicking game won it for KR. And his interceptions and runs from the backfield pretty much gave his teammates the breather they needed to get the job done in Catalan. The Young Player of the Year 2023 has delivered in May 2024. I rest my case. Having heard the analysis, gentlemen, over to you.
What did I say? I didn't want to be accused of having Primrose and Blue glasses on. But I did say that Fulis has been outstanding. He's also the victim of so many high tackles that go unpunished. It's untrue. It really is untrue. Yeah. The kid must wonder what he's got to do to get a penalty sometimes for the high tackles against him. And Andy Bibby's asking us again. I think we had this row last month. Would we swap Fulis for Wellesby? And I say no.
Yes.
Say no.
You don't need to. You've got Dufty.
Yeah. I say no because he kicks goals, he scores tries.
It's not like for like.
And his defence is 100% better than it was last season. Yeah. So yeah, no, SASC maybe, but no, I think that's well deserved. Well deserved.
Like I say, it's all about analysis. That could have been in any coloured shirt. It's about analysis. Steph, when you hear what I've said there about those 3 individual games and the impact he has, can you see why I went that way?
Yeah, absolutely. And it is very easy to get drawn into the Nsemba hype. I do think he's been outstanding.
Yes.
He's been. I think that the thing that most impressed me with Fulis is it's not his diving in at the corner. It's not his goal kicking. It's his strength of character for a young lad. And like Reggie said, gets battered. The other week when he got his head split open and they were rushing to get him back on, and for a young lad, going up against some of the some big blokes and I think has shown so much character, and he's kind of burst onto the scene a little bit, and then on top of that, taken up a goal kicking role, which we all know how like you rightly say, goal kicking is everything. It's the difference between the top sides winning games and losing them. It's that close when you play each other. So he deserves all the credit in the world. And just like for the Thulis and Wellesby thing is absolute garbage. That's like me saying, would you rather have Thulis or would you rather have Tom Amone? They're completely different positions. Wellesby on the wing would be garbage.
As said earlier on, apples and oranges.
It is. Exactly. Yeah. It's just 2 different positions, 2 different players.
Well, gentlemen, all I would say is, I stand by it, I get into every number, every fact. And like I say, you take that step back on emotion, Junior in December, on emotion. And coming into this week, I'll be honest with you, I'd preloaded it. I'm thinking it's Junior in December all day long. It has to be, because I've been raving about in December. But when you get into the detail, and that's what, for me, sets us apart from other people. I've seen Josh Charnley been given the Player of the Month in other publications. I'm sorry. Are you having a giggle? I mean, dear me, Josh has been good. He's there, isn't he? He's in our team in a month. But Player of the Month, behave yourself. You're having a giggle. Anyway, there you go. And even Steph's not shaking his head saying bang on. Yeah, let's get it right. Dawn, Greg's saying Dawn. Where's Dawn? I think, Dawn's saying fair enough, definitely deserved. Is that one?
No, the NRL Scouts watching.
The NRL Scouts. Oh, no, he's not that standard. He's not that standard. And I think even Josh himself would say he's not that standard.
If you lose Josh to the NRL, his brother Jake will take over. Where's Junior's brother?
No, I'll tell you what, if we lose Josh to the NRL, if I were you, Don, I'd be covering your eyes because how many of your players are going? It's not just going to be Junior. It's going to be an absolute ruck of them. Get ready, Sam Walters. He might only make 5 appearances for you. Anyway, moving swiftly on. Dear me, Don, what are you doing?
Canberra Warriors next season.
Absolutely. Look, boys, this has been an hour. Dear me, this is going to be on track to be one of our longest shows. But you know what? It's quality. It's quality chat. This is what we want to be. Rugby League, come on. Happy days. That's what we're talking about. Get yourselves now into the chat if you want to put out there a quick question for us to answer before.
I think John Wilkinson makes a good point. Roderick Ty getting running the team. Improved leaps and bounds, Roderick Ty.
He has. Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more with that one. I will go with that one. No doubt.
We're asking our Wigan fans to join us, our Warrington friends to join us in the Blue
absolutely, 100%. 100%. Yeah, we want them all in. We want them all to come down. It's going to be in the Blue Bell in Warrington. Like I say, I'll be there from 12. Do come along. It'd be good to meet you all. We had a great time when the Lee lads came down. Had plenty of good chats with the Lee Leopards fans. Make sure, like I say, you get there nice and early. It would be lovely to have you company. Right, we're going to go out with a couple of final questions, and then we're going to get out of here. So the one, let's just go with where we're going to go.
Jack Topping's question.
Who, Jack? With Nicholson now off to the NRL and Dom Young doing well at the Roosters, are we more likely to see Englishmen in Origin and turning down England call-ups than see Super League records fall after the likes of Hall and Charnley? Good question. I think that's a two-parter. Are we going to see more English players in the NRL? Because of the expansion of the NRL, I think that's an absolute certainty. There's not enough, this is where the top draw English player is better than a middle run, dare I say, Queensland Cup Australian. So what we're going to find, historically, our lads have gone over to play Queensland Cup. The best of our lads, I think, are going to go over there. But I'll tell you what it's going to do. It's going to work the other way. So those players who possibly are Super League standard in the NRL, but are not NRL standard, who want to do what the likes of Jackson Hastings have done and the rest, they'll come the other way. Steph's nodding. You agree?
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said earlier on, you can't begrudge anybody going to the best competition. And anybody who thinks that the NRL is not the best competition is deluded. And also financially as well, because the pay difference is ridiculous for the top players. Yeah. So yes, I do think, and I think it's a good thing for England that some of our top players do go over there and play in the best competition. We won't see them in the Origin because they can't play in Origin.
No, they've got to be born in the States to play.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so we won't see them in Origin, but what we will see is them flourishing, hopefully, in that comp.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's going to only be good, as you say, Steph, for England.
Yes.
Oh, I'd like to see a return of Great Britain.
Yes,
I think most people would. Yeah. The other question, Mark Smith, what one rule would you change?
Well, we've already changed that, I think. I think it's well and truly rumoured that from next year, the Captain's Challenge is coming in, and I'm a big advocate of the Captain's Challenge, so I can't wait for that.
That's not a rule change, though, is it?
Not a rule change, but it's a change to the game.
I would get rid of 6 again.
I'm happy with 6 again this year because they changed.
I will get rid of
Can I tell you why? Can I tell you why I'd get rid of 6 again?
Go on.
So the 6 again now is only when you're in the opponent's
Outside your
40. Outside your own 40. So the reason why I dislike it is I think it's very easy for a referee to give a 6 again when you're 10 metres out rather than a penalty. I think you just get, whereas if you get a penalty and the game's a close game, if he gives a 6 again, you can't kick a 2-point to win it. So if the game's drawed and he gives a 6 again, you haven't got the opportunity to kick a penalty, and you could then knock on the next tackle. So for me, it's just a stupid rule. It's brought in under COVID for some.
Yeah, it is a COVID rule, isn't it?
It's COVID rule. We're out of COVID now. There's no need for it, and I think it's so easy for the refs to do it, and they don't get monitored on it. This is the thing. You notice penalties. You don't get reported on how many 6 again a team's been given. And I'll go back to Vella on the Stella. He's the number one. He does that many. They were getting planes coming from Leeds, Bradford, diverting to Huddersfield Stadium.
Well, look, guys, in the interest of time, what we do know though is
I've not had my say yet, mate.
Sorry, mate. We do know that Vella's had his hand smacked because he's in the Championship this week.
He's been dropped, so I was right.
Go on, Greg.
I mean, Chris Kendall will have to change his name from 6 again if he got rid of that rule. So, it's only when he's playing Warrington. I would change I've got a try, I've got a no try. I would bring a bunker in like they do in Australia. And the one thing that annoys me, and I saw it a few times this weekend, was there were times when players went over the line, went over the try line, the ball came loose. An opposition player picked it up and was free to run down the pitch, and the referee stopped the game. There was a game a couple of seasons ago in Australia where the player went over the line, the ball
the Burgess one.
Yeah, he went up to the end of the pitch and he scored a try.
He come back for Burgess.
Scored a try, and then he went to the screen.
Yeah.
And, that happened 3 or 4 times this weekend where...
McDonald at Salford, wasn't it?
Yeah. A player picked the ball up and was gone, was free to score a try, and the referee blew his whistle, and it was a no try, and it would have resulted in a try for the other team. And so this try, no try has got to go. Brian Carney going about did that decision by Kendall to say no try for the Catalan. It was clearly a no try. He dropped it before he went anywhere near the line. You could see that from the camera angles. But it gets rid of all that debate, all that thing with Wigan in the World Club final, World Club Championship, whatever it's called, where the referee calls try, no try, and the video ref has to go with him. Get rid of it. Bring the bunker in. Get the bunker to tell the referee to check again. And that's the real change I would make.
There you go. You heard it here. Super League Raw doing it bigger and better. It's there on the screen.
I'm sorry.
It's on the screen. Super League Raw Quiz Night tickets on sale now. The first 10 buy one, get one free. You can bring a mate for nothing. Outstanding. Prices on the line. Don't worry if you remember. It will hit your inbox. You're automatically enlisted for the Super League Raw Quiz, 17th of June at 8 p.m. start. Yes, 8 p.m. start. There'll be no messing about this time around. Super League Raw Weekly will be back next Tuesday, as always, at 8 p.m. The Final Whistle podcast will have new members this week. I just hope members... Just a quick one for all the members. You get an invite in your email every single week. And as Greg Roach says, we need a bigger boat. We need more of you to come on to the Final Whistle podcast. So look out on Sunday for your emails. It comes on an email. And please do not share it on the WhatsApp group because I have to be faithful to the membership. It has to be who is invited. So please, please, please keep an eye out in your emails. Your invites will hit. And if you wish, once you get your invite, you're more than happy to come along and let us know your thoughts for round number 13 this week. Curl Crabtree, tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, is there for In Conversation on podcast and webcast. We'll be back for the Final Whistle on Sunday. We'll be back for Super League Rugby next Tuesday. Enjoy your rugby league. Get to the game. Steph, Greg, thank you for your company. And we'll go out with the top performers after 12 rounds. Here we go.
Here are your top performers after 12 rounds of the Betfred Super League. The top try scorer, despite not scoring this week, is Liam Marshall of the Wigan Warriors with 12. Having got 4 against the London Broncos, we have a new leader for try assist. It's Niall Levels with 15 for Hull KR. And still top of the metre chart is Matt Duffy of the Warrington Wolves with 2,243. The tackle buster of Super League remains Tim Lafay, 97 for the Salford Red Devils, whilst Matt Duffy once again heads the clean break charts with 14 for the Warrington Wolves. The most offloads in Super League have come from Hakeem Aludi of the London Broncos with 24, whilst the hard meter maker continues to be Paul Vaughan of the Warrington Wolves with 1,272. The most tackles have been made by the Leeds Rhinos captain Cameron Smith, 470. And still leading the goal kicking chart is Mark Sneed of Salford Red Devils with 39. These are your top performers after 12 rounds.